Every space that I've been able to create, and I'm very fortunate to say, is something that I've always wanted to do. It's something to be said that you've been able to do everything you ever thought you might like to do in your life. Hi, I'm Brenda Whitaker. I'm from Granite City, the town I was born in, raised in, and love. I was always creative in a sense that I was always drawing and painting, and I loved the arts in some way. My coworkers thought I was crazy. They said, can't make a living making soups and sandwiches, and why would you give up a good job like this, and you're never going to be able to make it with that. And I'm just like, just come and see me. And they did. I worked in the steel mill for 15 years. It was National Steel at the time, and I actually was just looking for a job. I had lost my job in St. Louis. They had downsized, and I had worked for a major department store at the time, and heard they were hiring. I thought I would get a job in an office, and they said all they're hiring for is the plant, and I thought, well, a job's a job. I need it, and I thought, I'll stay here till something else comes along, and before you know it, you're getting great paychecks. I was there 5 years, 10 years, and it's not that I didn't appreciate the job, and I met some really great people there, but I just wanted to do something a little bit more, and so I started thinking about starting my own business. The businesses that I own are the Garden Gate Tea Room, Novel Idea Bookstore and More, Board Gamery, Downtown Diner, and the Speakeasy. My first venture was the Garden Gate Tea Room. I opened that in 2000. And worked that and the steel mill for 2 years and left in 2002 and just did the tea room. I had absolutely no experience in food and beverage. I had gone to a place and thought, I wonder if I could do that. I hope the tea room means to Granite City that it's another choice. It's just something a little different. And it was probably the start of a resurgence 20 years ago when a lot of people had given up. I think for me, living in Granite City, while it's not a small town, I mean, we have 27,000 people in it, it has the small town feel. I mean, you know everyone, especially when you've lived here your entire life. It's just really middle America and just great people. So with the tea room being the first venture, we had a huge garden and we started doing outdoor events. And we hosted movies and small festivals and things like that. And people would say, oh, I wish you would do this on a larger scale. And that's when I formed Alfresco Productions, and we started doing events in the community. And I was involved in community theater years ago, not on the performing side, but on the tech side. I knew that there was a need for that. There's a lot of people that like to perform. And at that time, we no longer had a theater in town. And so that led to the Alfresco Art Center, and then it just went on from there.
Okay, and this is the Speakeasy. It was, originally I had my downtown diner here, and during the pandemic, I moved it down the street to be near all the other businesses. And when I realized I was just going to be able to ride this wave, I decided to rehab it, and my friends and I created the Speakeasy.
When you come into my spaces, I want you to almost be transported into another time. And so I've tried to pay attention to all details within this so it looks period specific. But in this, I wanted a safe, but I needed some place to have the beer. So we created this beer safe, which is just a traditional refrigerator. But then from a distance, it looks like it's a safe. So, just a little bit of creativity and just making it happen. It's the feeling of home. It's a feeling of just an experience with a loved one or friend, just a good time. I think that we are so busy in our lives that sometimes we forget just to relax, just to gather with people, whether it's to have a cup of coffee or a meal or to see a show. I think sometimes if you just sit and relax and breathe, and I hope that's one of the places. You can do that in all my places. I think art is crucial to any community, and I think because when you have the creatives, they look at things a little differently, and I think when they are engaged in your community, oftentimes, and you've seen it repeated in countries across the United States, an area that most people have given up in or on, they see the potential. And I think that if you give a space where people can nurture their creativity, no matter what art form it is, I just think it creates a richer environment for all.